Hello friends, welcome back to Digitalk and Cloud Computing series. In the previous video, I have shown you how to create a free Amazon account on AWS. Okay, and now in this video, I will explain you how you can create a virtual machine in Amazon AWS cloud, and then how you can access it from your local machine. So first, you have to sign up into the Amazon AWS cloud with your username and password, and then click on the services icon, which is on the left top most side. Okay, and because now you wanted to create a virtual machine, and in Amazon AWS the virtual machine option is inside the EC2. Okay, compute and then EC2, Elastic Cloud 2. Okay, so click on the compute, and inside compute click on EC2. Okay, and once you will click on the EC2, you will be landed on the EC2 dashboard, and there you can see the instance count is 0. That means you don't have any instance there which is running as of now. Okay, now we wanted to create a instance. Okay, so click on the instances option on the left side. After that, you will see a screen. On that, you have to click on the launch instances box. Okay, so once you will click on the launch instances, then after that means you are going to configure a virtual machine. And once you are going to configure a virtual machine, that you have to provide some different options for configuration of a virtual machine, right? Because this is going to build an operating system for you. Okay, whatever you are going to be selected, either Windows or Linux or whatever. Okay, and then for installation of your uh, OS, you need a certain kind of a hardware, and in that hardware, you need a CPU cores and then your storage, a lot of other things as well, right? So that means once you are going for the configuration of a virtual machine, then you have to provide certain inputs, and based on that one, Amazon AWS will create a virtual machine for you, right? So very first thing is that you have to provide a name for your virtual machine, and this will be displayed on your EC2 dashboard. Okay. So suppose in my case, I have given the name my demo machine. After that, you have to provide the number of instances. That means how many virtual machines you wanted to create. Okay, if you have a requirement of creating multiple virtual machines of same configuration, then you can just provide the count, and it will automatically create that number of virtual machines for you. Okay, so now for demo purpose, I am going to create only one virtual machine for me, so I have clicked on one. Okay, so you can see that on below the number of instances, you will see the software images, which software image it is selected. So by default, it is selected Amazon Linux 2 kernel 5.10 AMI. Okay, so this is the default image that will come with the Amazon Linux 2 kernel. Okay, and the virtual server type is T2.micro. So for every cloud service provider, they are providing you a combination of CPU and memory in a group, which is called as a micro. Okay, so micro, or there are a lot of different options as well. Okay, which is based on the number of CPUs, processors, and the RAM that is required. Okay, for T3, T3, T4, T5, T6, and then it will increase from the values of the CPU, RAM, and everything will get increased. Okay, as soon as you will go for the higher, you have to pay high amount for that one. Okay, so by default, it is T2.micro, which is free tier eligible. Okay, that means you can create this virtual machine with your free account. In the next one, you can see that inside the OS image, I have selected the Red Hat because I wanted to create a virtual machine with the Red Hat Linux. So I have clicked on the Red Hat, and then after that, it has automatically selected the images, which is software image AMI provided by the Red Hat. Okay, and the virtual server type is T2.micro. Okay, so I will cover this image type or the virtual machine type in a separate video where I will explain all of the different options that is available, or the different type of virtual machines server type that is available from the different cloud service providers in detail. Okay, so as of now, you can understand it is a small machine that you are going to create, which is a server type as T2.micro. Okay, and then you see that the architecture that I have selected 64-bit, and storage volume is by default is one volume of storage of 10 GB. That means with the free tier account, it will provide you a volume which will be attached to your virtual machine of size 10 GB. Okay, so now you can see the more detail about the is T2.micro image. Okay, and you can see that what is mentioned in front of the instance type is free tier eligible. That means you will not have to pay anything for this virtual machine. You can create it freely for your testing purpose. Okay, so what is there inside this T2.micro? That you will see a 1 GB memory. Okay, so the RAM would be allocated as 1 GB, and the virtual CPU would be 1. So you will see that one vCPU, that means only one virtual CPU will be assigned to this particular virtual machine, and along with that 1 GB RAM will be allocated, and this is free for you. Okay. After that, you have to create a key pair. If you have already created earlier, then you can select the same key pair. Otherwise, you can create a new key pair. And this is the key pair, which is a combination of public and private key. Okay. And with the help of this, you are going to log into your virtual machine. Okay. So once you will create a key pair, the public key will automatically get saved on your virtual machine, and it will give you an option to download your private key. So with the help of that private key, you can connect to your virtual machine. Okay, and then you can see the some more details about the free tier. In your first year includes 750 hours of T2.micro or T3.micro in the regions in which T2.micro is not available. So there are different regions of the in the cloud service. Maybe some services are running in Sydney, some are running in Canada, some are running in some different regions of India, US, or different countries. Okay, so maybe in some country T2.micro uh, machine is not available. So there T3.micro would be available as a free tier. Okay, and then it will give you 30 GB of elastic storage for your virtual machines, and then 2 million IOs, and then 1 GB of snapshot, and 100 GB of bandwidth to the internet. So these are the configurations that is free with this particular virtual machine. Okay, in the next screen, you have to select what kind of a key pair you wanted to create, then select RSA for that one. And the private key format, you have two kind of a format, but for Amazon AWS account login, okay, select the PPK. Okay, if you will download the PEM, then you have to convert this PEM to PPK for login to the cloud. Okay, so now you have an option to select the PPK directly. So key pair select as RSA, and for private key file format select PPK. Okay, and then this option allow you to download your this particular private key. Okay, so after that you can download your private key, and your key pair name will be displayed in the screen, right? So now inside the network setting, uh, you have to select create security group. Okay, so that means when you create a virtual machine inside a VPN or VPC, okay, for that by default you have to create a security group. This is a firewall kind of a setting. Okay, the traffic which you are allowing uh, to your virtual machines, or maybe the connections that you are allowing from your virtual machines to outer world, okay, that would be restricted in the cloud. Okay, if you want to connect any of your outer machines with the with your cloud machines, if you wanted to access any of the outer machines from the cloud machines, then you have to enable the communication for that one. Okay, and for the enabling that communication, you create a different kind of a security groups, and inside that security group you can allow the connections from different IPs and ports. Okay, and for this particular, because I am going for a testing purpose, and because I am creating this machine on the Amazon AWS, which I will access from my local machine. Okay, so for that I have selected allow SSH traffic from anywhere. Okay, and allow HTTPS traffic from the internet. Allow HTTP traffic from the internet. That means if you are going to uh, install some web server on this particular machine, then for that you can access your application which you will deploy on your web server from the internet once you will allow the HTTPS and HTTP traffic from the internet. And SSH traffic I have enabled from the anywhere. That means 0.0.0.0/0. Okay, that means from all the IPs. Okay, so that means anyone can access these machines over the internet and from anywhere. Okay, but only thing is that that person who is going to access your machine from anywhere in the world need your private key. Okay, if private key is not there, then the person would not able to log in. Okay, so for you, you can access this machine from anywhere with this particular rule, and you can use your private key to log into your machine, right? So in the last screen, you can see the different, some other more configurations, and then click on the launch instance button. Okay, and then you will see that successfully initiated launch of instance. Okay, and then you can click on view all instances. It will land up to your EC2 dashboard, and there you will see the status of that virtual machine is initializing. That means your creation of your virtual machine is in process. So instance state will come running immediately. Okay, and then it will take some time to complete the virtual machine configurations. Okay, so once it is ready, you will see the status is running, and you will click on the virtual machine that you have created, and then you can see the lot of different uh, configurations of your virtual machines. Like you will have a public IP which you will use to access your machine from the outer world, from the internet. Then you have a private DNS for your machine, and then you would have some other public DNS, auto assigned IP addresses, okay, which is again a public IP for your machine, okay. And then there would be different options for security, networking, storage, okay, that you want, that we will going to cover in the next other series, okay. Now you will see that status check is 2 by 2 check pass. That means your machine is ready. Okay. Now you will take the public IP of your virtual machine from the EC2 dashboard, which I have shown you on the previous screen. Okay. And then go to PuttyY or any SSH client. Okay. Then enter your IP address there. And inside the auth option, you have to select your private key. Okay, you will see that I have selected the my demo machine.ppk, which is the private key of my virtual machine that I have created during the creation of my virtual machine. And after selecting this one, you have to click on open. It will prompt you to enter the username. Okay, enter the username as EC2-user. This is the default username for your Amazon AWS virtual machine. Okay, and so enter the login name as EC2-user, and you will get the prompt of your Linux machine. It will not ask you for the password because instead of password, we have provided the private key, right? So this is using a public and private key pair for the login instead of the password, right? And then again go back to your EC2 dashboard, and then you will click on the instance state, and then you will see a different options to manage your virtual machines. Like you want to stop your instance, that means you want to start your virtual machine, you want to reboot your virtual machine, you want to terminate or delete your virtual machine. Okay, so as of now I have only one virtual machine on my dashboard. Okay, but in a professional environment you can have a multiple machines there. So for the management of for that particular machine, you have to select that particular machine, and then you have to click on the different options. Okay. And to check the volume which is attached to this particular virtual machine, you can click on the volumes tab, and inside that it will show you the volume ID and the size of your storage that is attached to this virtual machine, with along with some more information. So this is how you can create a virtual machine in the Amazon cloud, and stay tuned for a few more videos. Thanks for watching this video.